Hey, what's going on, everybody? Going here live. Something that we don't usually do on Diversified Game, but I wanted to go live real quick and give you guys some game and just kind of update you, let you know what's going on as far as if it's Africa trips 2021. Those are going to kick back, and you'll see, me talking about that even more. If it's investment in Africa, going to be talking about that even more. You know, giving some quick morning game is what I want to do. And on my Kellen Kash YouTube that I have, um, you know, I had some comments and people hit me up even personally, and they wanted some just clarification on, what is this whole investment that you're talking about, that you can make 43% on your money with your former guest, Rodney. And I explained that deal over there so I could try to draw people over here because I have even more people watching on that platform. But also even with the podcast, letting people know of the different platforms that I have. So I'm going to read this off to you real quick. And this is my board. And if you were at the Kellen Kash YouTube, you'll see. I'm going to read it off to you because you're not going to be able to get like a real good view of this. And I'm going to make it really simple, and I'm not going to complicate it. The professor is the professor of PR, but here we go. So I gave Rodney around $1,600, right? And in short, in about 5.5 months, throughout that time, we'll be getting paid on our investment. And he is selling his beard oil. And if you go listen to any interviews I've ever done on Rodney on Diversified Game, you can, go back and you can get reference. You can pause this, go back and come back to this. And so I gave him 1,600, 5.5 months. I'll be getting paid. And I will, at the end of the 5.5 months, I would have gotten my full 1,600 back, and I would have made about $703.30, give or take. You got to keep in mind, to send money overseas, that, usually got to pay someone, or it's a long process. Even if you have a bank, the bank sometimes wants some money. It just depends who your bank is and who their bank is, if those banks agree. So that's about 43.75% on my money. That's better than you can get on, for most people, they're not going to get that type of return. Now, it is a high risk investment, but I trust Rodney. Now, what does Rodney do with the money? I've bought 500 pieces of the beard oil, and this is in Ghana CDs. So it's 500 pieces times 35 Ghana CDs equals $17,500, right? So, and you take that 17, put that on your thing, minus 9300, and that's going to equal 8,200, CDs. And this math, you can get a clearer picture. If you can't see it from here, you can get a clearer picture on the Kellen Kash YouTube, and it kind of was like that. Like I haven't erased the board, but just breaking it down, making it simple. It's not a get rich, but what it can be is a way to take that money and start being able to play with the house's money. So, I'm going to make $703. I'm going to take that, look at what else I have going on at the time and saying, okay, I can put 1,600 in again and just let it keep doing that. I could put the whole thing in, and I like to sometimes take the house's money and do something else with it with another investment, which if you go to mallofafrica.africa or mallofafrica.africa, which is some of the swag that I got now, boom, you will see that in that website we have many investments that are under $1,000 that you could invest in. So I could take that 700 and invest it in somebody totally different. I could take that money and go buy, my electric bike that I've been looking at. I could go and do whatever I want, but I like to take the money and go do something with it. If you remember Matt Forbes, I told you about that investment as well for the Florida land, 15 minutes from the beach, and how that can just sit. He's not charging interest. So if you want, you can just pay that slow. And by the time you're done paying for it, it might be, 25% more, 50% more, double, triple, who knows? It's land, pure land that you have with electricity on it, at least the property that I bought. And so I could take that 700 and say, okay, that investment, I can pay for this investment, if I'm paying on a quarterly or a yearly basis. And I was, real transparent on how I'm buying that property, because if you ever lease a car, do like a one payment lease. Shout out to Pop, shout out to Chris Thomas for teaching me that. You do a one payment lease and be done with it. And the benefit with Matt Forbes to do it like that was after everything was done and you pay your property tax, there was a $9.99 charge every month that I told him I couldn't sleep with that. It was the ACH fee. So it was the bank, not him, but I just couldn't sleep with that charge. So I said, how do you break the game and put it back together and where it benefits you? People always will have a deal, but the deal has to be right for you. It has to fit what you're doing. And if it doesn't fit what you're doing, then you go to another deal. And Matt Forbes, great guy, and we talked and, great conversation and always, accessible to be able to, talk. And I know I've sent some people, his way, and hopefully they buy. And look, I also get a commission off that. So if I want, I could add that commission when that happens. It hasn't happened yet. But, there's so many ways that you can take a little bit of money and be able to flip it. And, some people do it in real estate. Real estate's not going to be for everybody. Beard oil is not going to be for everybody. With Rodney's deal, he, tells us in the interview, he'd rather you become a seller, because then you actually double your money, because I'm paying a 50%, I'm doing a profit share with whoever the seller is. So it's almost like I'm providing a seller who doesn't have that amount of money, or, maybe they're adding more to that seller or more to their shop. But if I was a seller, which I'm considering, I then don't have to, worry about that 50%. All I have to do is be able to put it out there in the world. And there's so many ways of doing that. You see beard oils being sold everywhere. You just have to, things have to fit your profit margin. One thing I'm getting real interested in and working on is African products that are winning, successful, like Rodney's project. He said in COVID, he made about, over 42,000 US dollars. And I know other people, we've interviewed Susie's Beauty on here. And, I knew her company because I read it in the book, made over $1 million. And, and you can take that and say, wait, that product's already winning over there. Let me be the first to market over here. Same thing when we had James Lindsay from Rap Snacks. He talked about it. So the whole point of Diversified Game is to give you the game. If you subscribe to shows like this, whether you're listening to it or you're watching it, it's like, how can you be broke? Because we're showing you how to take that money that you might go party with, you might go drink with, smoke with, buy new shoes, buy new clothes. And instead of being fresh for the day, put that money in something so you can be fresh for a lifetime. And once you learn the principles, and if you take the approach that for me and my wife, Miles Monroe taught us how, if you read a book a week, just try. Even if you read a book a month, right? How much more will you know? How much better will you be? Especially if you pick things that can make you, build you up, make you money, because everything doesn't have to be about money. Sometimes your personal mental wellness is, I mean, that's gold. I mean, that's more than the money, but you have to, start. You have to turn off the TV. I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in about a decade, maybe over a decade. Not to say I don't see things that are on TV, because people tell me all the time, hey, watch this, and I find a way to watch that. But even boxing matches, soccer matches, you don't have to have cable anymore. The internet is here, and there's so many ways of being able to do things. So I say all that to just kind of give you the game. Want to keep bringing, entrepreneurs. If you have some entrepreneurs on here that you say, hey, these folks are winning, they're winning, interview them. You think about what an interview is. It's just getting to know somebody. And one thing I love about the interviews, you can ask questions that, people charge thousands of dollars to answer. You can get the game just because of the way you came in. For me, I try to make my hourly consulting as affordable as possible for even like a 14-year-old to be able to afford it, right? And you guys can see the links in the description. You can book time and do all that, if you're serious. And, but some people charge so much money to do these things, and you can get the game for free. That's why I think everybody should have a podcast. Everybody should have a book. Everyone should try their hand at business as long as you don't mind being organized, and you can do it your way. I intentionally wear my own stuff. My stuff, everything is custom. I wear my own stuff. I do stuff my way. I don't do things the way that they say, oh, it should be done like this, and today you should have a suit. I like suits. I have suits, but that's not how, when I'm sitting out here in the beautiful South Florida sun, getting my vitamin D, I don't want to be hot. I got a fan underneath me, but I also have lights over here and over here. I want to be comfortable, and this is my office. This is the home. I can do it my way. And as long as I know what I'm talking about, it hasn't, for anyone that we want to do business with, it hasn't stopped any business. It was, oh man, those shades are real cool and everything. And some people, but that's crazy. That's a crazy look, or that's a character. No, this is me. If you know me, this is me. The shades, the hair, I could cut it off all through the middle right here and show you what the new part looks like. But I'm not going to do that. But, at least I don't think I'm going to do that. But yeah, this is what this whole show is about, and shows like this. I mean, there's so many, business podcasts that I love and I subscribe to on YouTube. And if you just kind of get drunk in that, man, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And if you don't know any, let me know, because there's, to me, so many. I'll miss one and I won't do one justice, and that'll be like the friend of mine. I'm like, yeah, you didn't shout me out, but you shouted all these other people you don't know. But I want to get to know, everybody, and I'm getting to know more and more people, and I'm doing that because I love networking. And even with this COVID, I mean, relocating from Seattle to Florida and being able to, be able to talk again to neighbors, because, in the South, you got to talk, I feel sometimes like a little kid when I see the senior neighbors, and I got to stop, for those who speak. There's a lot of transplants out here, and some speak, but I'm blessed to have, Peruvian neighbors on this side, Indian neighbors on this side, Finnish neighbors, and it just keeps going. Like this place that I'm in, it's just like, it's just a smorgasbord of just, the cultural just talents, and everyone has their different opinion, and most people are much older, but it's still a conversation I like to have, like to get that wisdom to find out what I don't know. And you got to do things again your way. I mean, there's, after this, I'm gonna go run some errands, and I'm gonna just kind of just not people watch, but find out for another business what I have to do to take it to and get it off its feet, because it's not doing what it's supposed to do. COVID has a part to do with that, because kids can't be in school, and we're homeschool teachers now. many of us parents. I'm scared to take my kids to school when it seems every week the school, for the people who are going, they're like, hey, we have a new COVID case. I'm just not willing to put my kids at risk. I'm sure the kids will be fine, but what about the adults? What about when we hear about, the first person who doesn't make it and they did go to school? Not to say school, they got it there, but it could be passed there. And, we're all taking risks and chances every time we go to the grocery store, certain things, but you can Instacart as well. But, you just want to kind of, not have too much fun right now, not do too much. I know people are cramped up and like, I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm fine. To each his own, no one can tell you what to do. You're grown. But I just wanted to come on here, give you guys some game on why I do this, how we do it, and the whole purpose, because people in my circle, they can't be broke. We got to figure out a plan. We got to say, what are you not doing? What can you be doing differently? The same way I have to ask myself with, like I say, this new business that I want to grow. And, I found some, possible partners who we're going to link up and see if we do business the same way. And so it's just a beautiful thing. So, and you guys, do not get discouraged by people who give you the cold shoulder. Don't get discouraged if people don't think you can do it, because this is not their life. It's your life. So I want you to live it. I want you to like, share, subscribe. Come get this game, binge watch this game, because even if it's a business you're not interested in, you never know with listening or watching what you'll learn that can, go take you to the next business or the next job, the next promotion, the next thing. Like when I hear people say, oh, I'm not happy with where I'm at right now, it's like, well, what are you willing to do differently? So, just know that. We'll go from there. So be blessed, and we'll give you some more games shortly. We're doing so many interviews every week and just, kind of creating a system. Shout out to Taylor Robinson, who hooks up the thumbnails every time. And we're also going to, be bringing in some editing and get that stuff done and bring a system, because I've been doing this stuff myself for the last year, since it's just been me. And, it's been a great challenge, and it's just increasing. And some opportunities have come across, and the best is yet to come for this. So I'm happy for that. You guys be blessed, leave comments.